Good morning, children. Today the topic is about what do animals eat. Up to now we have studied about the food that we eat, isn't it? That we eat, human beings eat. Now we are going to learn about the food that animals eat. Already you have learned about the different types of animals, isn't it? They are wild animals, domestic animals. Domestic animals normally are tamed by us and they in homes they are being kept and tamed. But whereas the wild animals cannot be tamed like that, they are in the forest and they depend upon the flesh for their food. They are called as flesh eating animals, isn't it? They hunt different animals and eat the flesh of the other animals. Based on the food habits, the animals are classified according to their food habits. They are classified as herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. According to the food habits, they are classified as herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Okay children? Yes. See here. Based on food habits, write down. Animals are classified into herbivores, carnivores, and the third one is omnivores. Okay children, what are herbivores? Herbivores are plant-eating animals. In general, we say that they are plant-eating animals. These animals depend upon only plants for their food. Next, coming to the carnivores. They are also called as carnivorous animals. They depend on other animals for their food. They eat the flesh of other animals. They hunt the animals and eat their flesh. So, they depend on only other animals for their food. So, they are called as carnivorous animals or carnivores. Now, coming to the omnivores. Omnivores are also called as omnivorous animals. They depend on both plants and animals for their food. So, they are called as omnivorous animals. Both plant products as grains and also the flesh of the other animals they depend upon. So, they are called as omnivorous animals. Now, you have studied about herbivores, carnivores and omnivores and their definitions. Now, you will learn about the different examples of herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Come on, let's see. What are the different herbivores that depend on only plants? Herbivores. Examples of herbivores, you know it. Cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, donkey. Is it not, ma? And also some of the animals that are living in the forest are also called as herbivorous animals since they depend on only plant products. They are, can you see here, rabbit, elephant, squirrels. They are also present in our surroundings also. They are herbivorous animals which depend on only plant products. Chimpanzee is also a herbivore whereas the monkey is an omnivore. Okay ma? Let's see. Now the examples of herbivores we have seen. Squirrels, parrot, etc. So the birds, some of the birds are also herbivores. Okay children, now coming to the carnivores. You know it. Lion, tiger, leopard, cheetah. Yes, these all belong to the carnivorous animals. Let's write down once. Carnivorous animals. Carnivores are also called as carnivorous animals. Examples are lion, tiger, cheetah, wolf, leopard, fox, etc. So many more are which depend on only animals and eat the flesh of other animals only. They are called as carnivores or carnivorous animals. Next, coming to the omnivores. Omnivores are the animals which depend on both plants and animals for their food. What are omnivores? Omnivores are the animals which depends on both plants and animals for their food. Let us find out what are they. For example, dog that you find around, they eat both the grains or the rice and all, bread and all, and also they eat the bones, isn't it? Flesh of the other animals they hunt. So dog, cat, hen, sparrow, pigeon, Is it not? So including the man, he himself is an omnivore. Man eats both the plant products as well as the animal flesh of the other animals as a meat, isn't it? So we can include the man under the omnivore, okay, etc. So there are so many birds. Most of the birds, we cannot say all, but most of the birds are omnivores. Okay, children. Next, we'll see about the next category of the animals which are called as natural scavengers. What are they called as? Natural scavengers. What do you mean by natural scavengers? First we have to understand. Nature. So the animals which depend on dead and decayed organic matter are called as natural scavengers, which clean the environment. They clean the environment by depending upon the dead and decayed organic matter. So they are called as natural scavengers. They clean the environment, they clean the nature. So they are called as natural scavengers. This is a very important question for you. So the natural scavengers depend on dead and decayed organic matter. They depend on dead and decayed organic matter. So they are called as natural scavengers. So the animals which depend on dead and decayed organic matter are called as natural scavengers since they clean the environment. For example, crow, vulture, eagle. These are all are natural scavengers because they clean up the environment by depending upon the dead and decayed organic matter. Is it clear, ma? Dead and decayed organic matter or the organisms they depend on. Next category is nocturnal animals. What are nocturnal animals? Children, every day you might have seen in your homes, in kitchens or bathrooms, cockroaches roaming about. Is it clear? So, mostly you see these cockroaches at night time and near the places which is very dark. So, we can say that these animals search their food in the dark. So, the animals which search the food in the dark are called as nocturnal animals. Why do they move only in the dark? Why can't they move in the daytime? They move only in the dark because they are afraid of being attacked by us. Okay, children, that's why they search their food only at night time or in the dark places only, so that they cannot be visible or they cannot be killed. So they are called as nocturnal animals. Such types of questions may also be asked for you. Okay, it may not be in your textbook, but the reasoning questions may also be asked for you in your examinations. Once again, I repeat, what are nocturnal animals? Animals which search their food in the dark. Animals which search their food in the dark are called as nocturnal animals. For example, what are nocturnal animals? You already know it. Yes, cockroaches. Next, rats, bats, clear, garden lizards, wild lizards. Sometimes garden lizards you can see in the daytime also. Some wild lizards, they move in the dark places. Okay, so there are some animals, they are some animals which search their food in the dark places only. So these are the different types of animals that we have studied, which are classified according to based on their food habits. And there are decomposers which decompose the organic matter like microorganisms also. So these are the minute microscopic organisms, that is, they cannot be seen with our naked eyes. So here you have observed about the microscopes, microorganisms. So microorganisms are the decomposers. What do they do? What are these animals? Example, microorganisms. Microorganisms, what do? They decompose the organic matter. Decompose the organic matter. So they are called as decomposers. This is the next category of the organisms. So, living organisms. So, the living organisms, especially the animals, they are classified as such based on their food habits. Next, coming to the tracking of the food or intake of food by the different organisms using their senses. So you know the main five senses that the living organisms use, they have. They are eyes, nose, eyes for vision, nose for smell, ears for hearing, tongue to taste and skin to feel. So these are the five sense organs in which they use their senses like hearing, seeing or vision, here the smelling, tasting and feeling in their search for their food or in tracking their food. These are all the senses are used by the animals in tracking their food. Especially what are the different animals or the different sense organs used by different animals in tracking the food, we'll see now. So sense organs used by the animals, different sense organs used by different animals, we are going to see now. Okay, coming to the vision, first sense organ, vision. So some animals have good eyesight, so they can search the objects, very tiny objects from a longer distance too. So example like eagle, vultures flying at a very great height or the distance, they can see a tiny object on the ground and grab the object from there and fly away. So this the sense of vision is highly developed in these organisms or in these animals. This is the birds like vultures and eagles. They have a great sense of vision. We can see that they have the great sense of vision. Next comes to the sense of smell. Especially you know it that the dogs, they have the great sense of smell. That's why you know that the police also use the dogs to catch the criminals, to find out the criminals in their research. They use the dogs, isn't it? So why they use them? Because they have the great sense of smell and find out the food that where it is present. So we can say that they search their food by using the sense of smell, good smell. Next, hearing. Bats have the good sense of hearing. Example, bats. Next, taste. It's also one sense organ. So, mostly the reptiles like snakes, they search the food through they take the food through the taste. Reptiles, we can see not only the snakes or the lizards, any reptiles, which move or the crawl. So their sense organ which is highly developed it's their taste. Is it clear, ma? So these are the sense organs used by different animals in tracking down their food. Next, coming to the different ways that the different animals use in taking their food. So there are different ways in which the different animals take their food. What are they? We'll see. First is picking process. Picking. Rumination. I think most of you know about this process of rumination. I'll explain you detailedly about each and every one. First, I'll write down the names of different ways in which the animals take their food. Different ways. Let me erase the heading here so that the place may be sufficient for you. Yes, different ways that animals take their food. Which type of food they take, we have already learned. Now, how do they take? What is the sense organ that is highly developed? We have seen in different organisms. And now we are going to see about the different ways in which different animals take their food. Picking process, rumination process. Next, nibbling process. Nibbling process. Hunting or hunting or piercing process, picking, rumination, nibbling, hunting, piercing. Coming to the next one is licking process. Dogs, they lick the food, isn't it? Licking process. Come, yes, now we'll see about the picking process. All the birds, if you see, they pick the grains from the ground, isn't it? They pick the grains mostly. That is, they use the picking process for taking their food. If you want to write the examples, you can write 2 or 3 examples for them. Sparrow, crows, sparrow, etc. They pick the grains from the ground. Rumination. What do you mean by rumination? Mostly the cows, buffaloes, goats, sheep, these herbivores, especially these animals, they take their food first. They take the grass immediately. They pick up the grass with their teeth and they swallow it. Later, they bring back the food to their mouth and again chew continuously. So this process of chewing the food by bringing back the food from the stomach again is called as rumination. This is mostly seen in the animals such as cows, buffaloes, goat, sheep, camels. These are the animals in which you can see the rumination process. Next, coming to the hunting or piercing. This is the main way in which you can see in the wild animals or the carnivorous animals which hunt their food. Is it clear? So they hunt, they ran for the animal which is for their food. So they hunt the animals and pierce the flesh of the animals. And the next is licking process. You know that dogs mainly lick the liquids. Here we have seen about the hunting and nibbling process. Nibbling process is mostly seen in rabbits and squirrels. They take the food with their front tooth, incisor teeth, isn't it? So that is called as nibbling process that we see in the eating habit of rabbits and squirrels. Rabbits and squirrels. Hunting, you know it, wild animals like lion, tiger, cheetah, wolf, leopard. These are all the animals which hunt the other animals for their food. Licking, dog, cat, and all the other animals, cow, buffalo, goat, sheep also. So these are all lick the liquid foods. They lick the foods. Which type of foods they lick? With their tongue. They use their tongue to lick the foods. Normally in hunting process, they use their claws to hunt. And with the canine teeth, they tear, hunting, tearing. They tear and pierce with their canine teeth, isn't it? And eat the food. Like that. There are different processes or the ways in which different animals take their food. So, I think children, you have understood the different topics that we have covered today. That is, first one is classification of animals. In that we have studied about the herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals and omnivorous animals. Next, coming to the natural scavengers, nocturnal animals and decomposers that we have seen. Next, coming to the different animals that use their senses to take their food. And finally, we come across the different ways in which different animals take their food. Okay, children? So this ends for this class today, and then in the next class, I'll take up the next part of the lesson. Okay, ma? Come on, note down these points and I'll end up the class now. Note down the points. And another one is also, you can say that the swallowing. Swallowing, whales and the snakes like python and all, they swallow completely the food animals or other animals or the organisms completely. So we can say the swallowing is also the process of taking in food by whales and pythons. Okay. Take your textbook, children. I'll give you the homework for today. Page number 31. Take the page number 31. You can see the table number 1. You write down serial number. I'll write on the board. If those who do not have the textbooks, please note down and complete the homework. You can easily write, it's a general question, table 1 from your textbook, page 31. Serial number, animal or bird, you have to write on your own. Columns I am going to write here. What they drink or eat. Anything you can take down. How they find food. Under this, one example I will give you, as it is in the textbook also, you can see sparrow, they eat worms and grains etc. The food also they may eat. How do they take the food? By looking, isn't it? Seeing. In the second one, dog, bones and bread. By sniffing process, sniffing or smelling process. Do you understand? By dogs. So next, other examples you take down. Any 10 examples. Okay, 10 examples you take down and write accordingly in your homework book. That's it for today, children. Bye.